How's it going, guys? MattyTingles here. Thank you for joining me today. I am sorry I haven't put up a video in over a week. I've been dealing with a little bit of a health issue. Nothing too serious or anything, but anyway, just wanted to tell you guys that. But thank you so much for continuing to watch all my videos and everything. So yeah, it's just been a weird week. Anyway, today I just wanted to make a really simple video and just kind of ramble and talk with you guys about some movies that I've seen recently in theater. If you don't know yet, I am a huge movie fan, and as you will probably see in a minute, it's one of my favorite things to do as a pastime. So I probably go to like 4 or 5 movies a week, probably. There's a few theaters by my house or relatively close to my house. And then recently I've been going out of town and just trying to find cool new theaters. I think it's like a fun pastime just seeing other theaters as well. But anyway, I was just gonna do some reviews of the movies that I've seen. I get a lot of people, especially on Twitter, asking me what I thought about movies, because I think most of them know that I frequent the theater quite a bit. But yeah, I'm just gonna go through how many 8 movies really quick, or not really quick, but yeah, just go through 8 movies and kind of what I thought of it and some highlights and all that kind of stuff, and then I will give each movie a grade. Pretty simple, but yeah, I hope this is relaxing. If anything, just lay back, put some headphones on, and yeah, just listen. So anyway, let's do it. Alright, so the first movie I'm gonna go over, before I start this, I do want to say that I believe that any opinion, especially on entertainment kind of things, is totally subjective. And this is just my opinion on what I personally thought about each of these movies. So I just want to say that I hope all of you guys go see this and don't necessarily let my review or anyone else's review make the decision for you. I'm an advocate for going out and seeing things and making a decision for yourself. Anyway, that being said, though, I would love to know what you guys think of these movies. If you've seen any of them, comment below and let me know your thoughts. But anyway, first movie that I'm going to talk about is A Bad Mom's Christmas. Believe it or not, I actually was kind of excited for this movie. I thought the first one was funny. I love movies a lot, and I think that I have the ability to kind of separate movies that I think are gonna be amazing and critically acclaimed and will win awards and stuff, and movies that are just gonna be fun to watch. And so I think you have to go into a movie expecting what you should expect, if that makes sense. I don't think anyone is going into A Bad Mom's Christmas thinking, okay, this is gonna be this is gonna win every award there is. But I think you should go in thinking this is gonna be a funny movie. So it was very funny. I would say it's way more inappropriate than the first one. It's rated R, and this is definitely Like, for instance, this is definitely not a movie that I would go see with my parents or something like that. It's very, very, very inappropriate. And there's a few different scenes that are like borderline shouldn't be in an R-rated movie, if that makes sense. Anyway, it was really, really funny. Again, these movies aren't supposed to be, amazingly written and everything. I think these kind of movies, I go in looking to have fun and laugh, and then hopefully there's some clever writing. That's pretty much it. I love Christmas, and so it was nice to get into that mode for an hour or almost 2 hours, I think. But anyway, I love the cast: Mila Kunis and Kristen Bell and Catherine Hahn. Those three together are their chemistry is super funny. I really loved. They did a pretty amazing rollout for this movie, promo rollout on, all the talk shows and all the YouTube channels and stuff that do interviews for movies, and you can tell that they genuinely really like each other outside of creating a movie. So, anyway, and it just hit me last night. I was flipping through channels and forgetting Sarah Marshall came on, and Mila and Kristen Bell are both in that. And then, so I like when people work together in different movies. So anyway, it was very funny. I thought, again, not Oscar worthy at all, but a fun watch and very inappropriate. And it has some art in it as well. It's the classic, like, it's the, that genre of movie. It's the classic, like, be funny, set up, be funny, set up. Everything's going great, be funny. And then something will go wrong, fix it, have a heartfelt moment, and then end on funny. Anyway, yeah, A Bad Mom's Christmas. And I'm not going to give away the plot to any of these, because again, I want you to go see it, but I will give A Bad Mom's Christmas, and let's put all the grades, like, kind of right here. I will give A Bad Mom's Christmas I will give it a B+. I think the chemistry on film is very, very good. There's some clever comedy writing in this movie. So, yeah, B+. A Bad Mom's Christmas. Okay, so the next movie that I saw, I don't remember the exact dates I saw these, but out of all these 8 movies, I've seen all 8 of them in the last, like, 1.5 or 2 weeks, so they're fresh in my mind at least. Okay, so the next one is Jigsaw. Okay, so I should preface this with saying I really, really loved the first, I'm gonna say 2.5 or 3 Saw movies. And let me know what Saw is your favorite in the comments too. I would love to have a dialogue with you guys and see what you guys think of the Saw series. But I think the first one was fantastic, and when it came out, it was, kind of new and disgusting. And I like scary movies just like the next person, and these aren't necessarily scary. They're more like just over gore and just disgusting. Okay, so anyway, Jigsaw. It was okay. It wasn't. When it's a series, I really try not to compare it to previous ones, even though that's what you naturally do in your head, I think. Um, there was good moments in this movie, and there was really, 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 really bad moments in this movie. You know, which is cool. I guess I would say the bad moments in this movie were worse than the good moments in this movie, if that makes sense. Um, yeah, I do, however, think that whoever writes these movies and whoever, I can't remember the guy's name that writes it. Someone comment and remind me. Anyway, whoever does set design on these Saw movies is awesome, and I think that'd be a really fun job to come up with all of these traps. I think that this one wasn't as gory as the others. There was some bad, gross stuff, but there wasn't anything that made me like sick to my stomach, and maybe that's because I knew what to expect going in, maybe. But anyway, the story was okay. It's not the worst story I've ever seen. Some of it was predictable for sure, and they set it up to where, you know, you kind of know what's going on. Whereas, like, for instance, the first one, you think you know what's going on like 6 different times, then it ends up being a huge twist at the end. So yeah, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good, is what I'll say about Jigsaw. I think that I'm not sure we need any more of these movies. I don't think that this did well in the box office. And yeah, I don't know. It was, you know, it's a movie, and there was parts that were entertaining, certainly. And I would say 50 or 60% of the movie was fine. But yeah, 30 or 40% of it was, you know, just predictable and just okay. So, anyway, so yeah, Jigsaw. There is a pretty big reveal in it, though. There's a pretty big reveal in it that I went, oh, whoa, okay. So I'll give it that. There's a really big reveal in it. And obviously I'm not gonna say what that is, but it does help to see all of the other ones before, of course, since it's a series, because there's a lot of connecting parts in this. So anyway, yeah, so Jigsaw, I will give Jigsaw a C, just a solid C. It wasn't terrible, but I wouldn't say it was good either. So yeah, Jigsaw, I will give it a C. Alright, so the next movie that I am going to talk about just came out last week, I believe, and that is Suburbicon. This was a movie that when I saw the trailer, I thought, okay, I get where they're going with this. I'll certainly see it. You know, not necessarily expecting much from it. Directed by George Clooney, who is a fantastic actor and is extremely smart. But if you look at his resume of directing, I'm not sure that he completely gets how to tell a story. Which is a huge part of directing. I think that all of his shots look amazing. He knows how to set a camera. He knows how to light a scene. But a lot of movies that he's done were fine, but the storytelling in it just is subpar. So maybe that's something that he's not great at. But anyway, yeah, Suburbicon. Yeah, Matt Damon. It's an interesting movie. And I guess my only thing with it was, it came out that they they had a script that was, I believe, by the Coen brothers, and Clooney rewrote it, which is fine. But then they rewrote it like 2 weeks before filming to kind of give it a political feeling, and you could tell the whole movie that it was trying to say something. Like, for instance, with what's going on in the world. There's a lot of parallels in this movie. Like, in Suburbicon, it's like this perfect old style neighborhood, and then a black couple moves in, and the whole town riots against it. But that's like the fourth story that they follow, and they just keep cutting back to that. And so I think what they're trying to do is say, hey, this is going on in the world, but no one is paying attention, and so they didn't show it very much, and they didn't make it seem like it was that big of a deal, if that makes sense. Anyway, you can tell that they're trying to say something with it. I'm not sure that they succeeded. And I want to say, like, I truly love every movie. Even like Jigsaw, I didn't think was very good, but I still am entertained by it. So I hope I'm not coming off as negative. I really try to be the least cynical person possible. But the more movies you see, I think the more you learn how they're made, and what to expect from certain people. But anyway, it was fine. I just there was a lot of stuff that was rushed in it, and there was a lot of cuts between certain storylines that just didn't make any sense. Yeah, it's a really hard movie to kind of to try to explain, because what they try to do is go back to the like the old style Hollywood 50s feel, which is hard to do, and mix it with things that are going on right now, and tell like 3 different stories. And so, yeah, I don't know. It was fine. I didn't hate it. And there was certainly some entertaining stuff in it. I think Matt Damon is great, but and who else is? Oh, Julianne Moore's in it, and she's normally pretty great. But yeah, it felt rushed to me, and it felt like they were trying to say something and maybe didn't get all the way there. So yeah, Suburbicon, I will also give a C. Actually, I'll give it a C minus. If Jigsaw's a C, I'll give Suburbicon a C minus, because I think there was more that I didn't understand and that didn't make sense in Suburbicon than Jigsaw. So yeah, Suburbicon with a C minus. Alright, so the next movie that I'm gonna go over is The Snowman. The Snowman, the Snowman, the Snowman, the Snowman, the Snowman. Now, I was excited for this movie when I first saw the trailer. I think the trailer looked pretty cool. I like Fassbender a lot. The cast is pretty great. But I think that, how do I say this? The movie was fine. It kind of lost my interest about halfway through, I would say, because it's very political. It's very, very, very political. And I think that this movie would have been so much better if they would have made a horror movie about a killer who leaves scary snowmans everywhere. He kills people, and just solving that. And that's kind of what I thought this would be, and it was not that. It's not that at all. It gets very political, and after the first maybe half an hour or so, it's not really about Snowman killer per se. I think Fassbender's very good in it. He kind of kept me in it because I like him a lot. But yeah, I don't know. Just I guess going off the trailer, I thought this was gonna be a completely different kind of movie. And yeah, it just kind of threw me off a little, I guess. And then yeah, I'd say by about the halfway mark, I was like, okay, I'm not even sure that I care who the Snowman Killer is anymore because they went off track so much to get political in it. So anyway, yeah, I think it could have been great if they would have simplified it a little bit and just made it a creepy guy who kills people and leaves creepy snowmans. Like there's a movie there. But yeah, it was okay. It's hard to explain, but yeah, I think like I said, about halfway through I lost interest, so that's not good because I normally can sit through just about anything. So damn, that's 3 subpar movies in a row. I'm sorry, I should have switched these up a little. But anyway, so the Snowman, I will give a C minus or a D, I would say. Let's see, Suburbicon is a C minus. I'll give it a C minus. There were some good parts. And there's one woman in it that is beyond beautiful. I can't remember her name. She's one of the main people in it, beyond beautiful. So I guess that's where it goes to a C minus from a D. Anyway, yeah, the Snowman, C minus. C minus. Alright, so the next movie that I'm gonna go over, and by the way, I believe most of these are still in theater, so please go see them. And yeah, please let me know what you think of any of these if you've seen any of them. Okay, so the next movie that I'm gonna go over is The Mountain Between Us. The Mountain Between Us, The Mountain Between Us, The Mountain Between Us, The Mountain Between Us. Okay, so pretty much any movie, and this might just be my age and like the era I grew up in, but pretty much any movie where people get in a plane wreck and have to fend for themselves in the wilderness reminds me of the book The Hatchet. Did anyone else read The Hatchet in school? I think I had to read it 1st through 5th grade every single year. And I'm pretty sure I turned in the same book report from the year before and got in trouble. But anyway, it just always reminds me of The Hatchet, even though it has nothing to do with that. Okay, anyway, The Mountain Between Us. So this movie was very, it was entertaining. I love Idris Elba, is one of my favorite actors on earth. And yeah, it was good. I would say the only downside to this movie is some of the stuff's just unrealistic. I went to this movie with a friend who's actually been stranded on a snowy mountain before overnight, and he was telling me like, okay, for instance, there's a scene where they're just walking in snow and they find a place to stop, and then just the next scene they have a perfect fire going and stuff like that. And then he was saying like there's no dry wood anywhere on a snowy mountain to make a fire, and stuff like that. Little things though. It is Hollywood. Anyway, I love Idris Elba a lot. Seriously, one of my favorite actors. So going into this, I was already like, okay, well, I would watch Idris Elba sit on a chair and talk for 2 hours, and it would be a good movie. But yeah, this was pretty good. I enjoyed it. You know, it's a classic, just plane ride, get stuck and try to get out. I don't think that they overdid it, and I don't think that they, you know, try to be something they weren't. I will say the very, very, very ending, like the last minute of the movie is pretty corny. It's like when it happened and it went to credits, I was like, I don't know if we needed that, but other than that, it was pretty good. Pretty good. Some amazing drone shots, and just, yeah, the scenery and the cinematography of the scenery, and everything was beautiful. So yeah, the story was fine, and it looked really good. They had some amazing shots. So yeah, The Mountain Between Us, I will give I'll give it a B. I will give The Mountain Between Us a B. It was pretty good. Certainly better than Snowman, Suburbicon, and Jigsaw, in my opinion. So yeah, The Mountain Between Us, I will give a B. Alright, so I have 3 more movies I'm gonna go over. I hope you're still with me. Actually, I hope you're not still with me. I hope this is still playing and you're asleep. But anyway, yeah, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 6th movie. I have them written down in front of me. The 6th movie I'm gonna go over, I saw a couple weeks ago, is The Foreigner. The Foreigner, The Foreigner, The Foreigner, The Foreigner, The Foreigner, The Foreigner. Starring Jackie Chan. I like Jackie Chan a lot. I think he is not just a national treasure. I think he's a worldwide treasure, and he's done some amazing stuff in his career. And if you don't know much about Jackie Chan besides the fact that he does his own stunts and does, you know, crazy moves on camera, look him up. He has a pretty amazing life. He has like 20 platinum albums in China. And I was reading about him after I saw this movie, and the main article, when they were talking about how truly big he is over there, they said unless you live in China, you don't understand how big he is over there. And they said that the only thing in America that rivals something as big as Jackie Chan is over there is Mickey Mouse, which is like, that's crazy. But yeah, anyway, The Foreigner. It was good. It was good. I liked it. I like Jackie Chan, first of all, but I think this was a fun movie. A little bit political. It's hard not to be political now, to set kind of a political narrative, but Jackie was fantastic in it. A little bit of a different role for him. You know, he's getting older, and so they're playing off that. Like, he's an older guy now, but he still does some crazy moves in this movie, for sure. But yeah, The Foreigner, it was good. I think the story, the way that they cut back and forth between 2 or 3 different streams of story was clever. And yeah, Jackie's a badass, like he normally is, but he really goes in on some people in this movie, and he's very tricky, and he's also like kind of a chemist. Like, he makes some amazing bombs and stuff in it. Yeah. Anyway, was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. I know. I think I've probably said that already, but I'm just trying to not give, anything away, because again, I want you guys to go see this movie. But yeah, it's one of those movies where you watch it and it's a fun watch because there's a lot of action, and then you leave the theater and you're like, man, that was pretty good actually. That wasn't just, I think there's some substance in it. The first like 10 minutes are super sad. This shouldn't give anything away, but it's like really sad seeing Jackie Chan cry. Like he straight up is just like crying. And super messed up in the beginning. And so yeah, great performance by Jackie. And yeah, it was good. It was good. So yeah, The Foreigner. Yeah, I'll give The Foreigner. I will give The Foreigner a B plus. B plus, solid B plus. It was good. I wouldn't say that it was an A, obviously, since I just said it was B plus. But it was good. I thoroughly enjoyed it and left the theater thinking that was a solid movie. So yeah, B plus for The Foreigner. All right, so I got 2 movies left, and I think I saved the 2 best ones for last. So if you've been sitting here listening to me talk about how like 5 movies are just okay, I apologize. But we're gonna finish it out with a bang. So okay, so the second to last one I'm gonna talk about is Only the Brave. Only the Brave. Only the Brave. Only the Brave. Only the Brave is based on a true story about the firefighters called the Hot Shots in Granite Mountain, I believe it's called, which is I honestly can't remember where it's set in. I want to say Arizona, but I could be wrong. Someone fact check. I need a fact check person. If anyone wants to fly here when I film videos like this and just sit off camera and fact check stuff for me, I am now hiring for that. Whoa, let's not move the mic. Okay. Yeah, so Only the Brave. This one really is good. Very, 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 very good. And has a lot of heart. I went into this movie honestly not knowing the story of the Granite Mountain Hot Shots. You can kind of tell what happens from the trailer, of course, but I honestly didn't know what happened to these people. And it's tragic and terrifying and heroic and legendary and again really, really, really sad. But yeah, this movie was very, very good. It kept me in it the whole time. It had a lot of humor. It had a lot of heart and a lot of just, I think forest fire, like forest fire, forestry. Is that a thing? Whatever you call that. Is something that I don't know a lot about, and so it was really cool to see, like, the behind the scenes of what it takes to be a hot shot and what it takes to go fight these fires. And you don't think about how dangerous and how crazy that job actually is. We just had like terrible fires in Oregon over the summer. Like the whole Columbia Gorge was on fire, which is like one of the prettiest places on earth. And like, I remember seeing the news and being like, oh man, yeah, that's terrible. But I didn't think about the people trying to put it out. And I do now after this movie, because it really puts you right there with them. From amazing story. And if you don't plan on ever seeing this movie, just Google the Hot Shots from Granite Mountain. It's an amazing, tragic, terrifying story. But I think it translated very well on film. And yeah, it was hard not to. It was hard. Sorry, it was hard not to. You know, to hold back the tears at the end. I love movies like that that are based on true events, and this is truly a really sad thing that happened. And at the end, they showed photos of the real people that the movie was about, and that's just sad to see. Anyway, Only the Brave. It was very, very good, and I am going to give it a solid A. Solid A. I definitely recommend it. It's not overly violent. It's not. If anything, it's just sad and funny and a good balance of those two things. But yeah, I highly recommend it. And I would say it's a good family. I don't know if it's a good family movie. It's really sad, but it's it's something that you could sit down and watch with your family. So anyway, yeah, Only the Brave, I'm giving a solid A. Alright, so the last movie I'm going to talk about is definitely my favorite out of all of these, mainly because it's a Marvel movie and I'm a huge Marvel fan, but also just because it was very, very good. So yeah, the last movie I'm going to talk about is Thor Ragnarok. That could be that's a cool video idea. Oh, I just had a good idea. Okay. Anyway, yeah, Thor Ragnarok. I saw it came out the Friday. I went and saw it the first showing on the Thursday before. A friend and I have gone to every movie, or every Marvel movie the day it comes out, first showing, since the first Iron Man. So for a long time, for the entire arc and for all three phases. Anyway, I was very excited for this, mainly because it's, always fun to be back in the Marvel universe, but also, I think that this looked like the best one just from the trailer. I think the first two Thors were good, but I think that it was one of the weaker sub-series out of all of, out of the Iron Mans, out of the Captain Americas, and the Avengers stuff. So, I think the Thor series needed a movie like this. It felt, I'm sure as you can tell from the trailer, it felt a little Guardians of the Galaxy-ish, which it was, but I think that they've been, I think that they've been using that formula a little bit more because, Guardians works so well. And what I mean by Guardians of the Galaxy-ish is the color aesthetic that they use is very Guardians. Using music, using like classic songs was huge for Guardians, and it totally works. It's kind of like a cheap trick. It's like, a certain scene comes on and then an amazing song that everyone loves comes on it, and it like makes you feel stuff automatically just from because of that song. And hopefully, if they're clever, which Marvel is, the song will coincide with what's going on, and so on. Anyway, Thor Ragnarok was amazing. It's probably in my top 4, maybe. Probably in my top 3 or 4 Marvel movies in this arc. Iron Man is my favorite character out of everyone. Iron Man or Tony Stark. Um, and so, I love Iron Man 1, 2, and 3, and he's always a standout person to me in all of the Avengers movies, and even in Spider-Man 2. But I truly, truly enjoyed this. I think the formula they're using right now for Marvel movies is very interesting. And I think that by interesting, I mean they're like Thor Ragnarok is probably the funniest movie out of the entire story arc. Seriously, I think Guardians is funny. Both of the Guardians are pretty funny, and they've always had humor in these movies. But this one was it was a perfect mix of being funny and then being serious, because obviously something's gonna try to end the world, if you know what the word Ragnarok stands for. And but they did it with humor a lot. Seriously, this movie, I was in a packed theater, and this movie had actual knee slapper funny lines in it, where I was like, oh my god, I cannot believe they just put that in a Marvel movie. You know what I mean? I think Chris Hemsworth's timing, his comedic timing is so funny. He does this thing where he kind of talks under his breath. That is hilarious, just so funny. The cast of this movie is so good. Oh my god. So Chris Hemsworth, obviously. Kate Blanchett as Hela. Let's see. Tom Hiddleston, of course, as Loki. Never trust Loki, by the way. Ever, ever, ever trust Loki. Never. Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie, who was amazing. She was so good. Who else? Okay, Idris Elba, of course, as Heimdall. Obviously, Stanley was in it. He always makes an appearance. It was a pretty funny cameo. Carl Urban was awesome in it. Anthony Hopkins, of course, as Odin. And then my favorite, he's in my top 3 favorite, I'll say it right now, top 3 favorite actors of all time, Jeff Goldblum as Grandmaster. And he totally does Jeff Goldblum's Grandmaster. It's, if you know anything about Jeff Goldblum, you know how he talks and how he is. And he really brought that to the character of Grandmaster. And then, of course, Mark Ruffalo as Hulk. I love Ruffalo as well. This cast is fantastic. And then the director, I can't remember how to pronounce it. It's like Taika Waititi. I think something Waititi. Taika. I think it's Taika. And he's the director, and he also did the voice of Korg, who was arguably the funniest character in this movie. Anyway, yeah, this movie really pushed forward the Thanos story arc. And I say Thanos. I know some people say Thanos. Regardless of what you call him, he's terrifying, and it's about to be super on. Man, just think about for the Infinity Wars. Think about all the movies up until now. The world is almost ended, and all of these movies have had one Infinity Stone in them. And yeah, he's about to have all of them. In the gauntlet, it's about to be on. But it pushed that story forward, which I love. What else? I don't want to give any Easter eggs away. The after credit stuff is great. Yeah, if you don't know, but if you've been like sleeping under a rock, or sleeping under Korg, if anyone's seen the movie, you'll get that. But if anybody's been sleeping on Marvel movies, definitely stay after the credits. There's always Easter egg, extra credit scenes. Yeah, and they didn't disappoint. I think you have to know about the universe and a little bit of comic history to know what really happens in those post credit scenes. But I don't know if you know that it's about to go down with Thanos, you should kind of know what that scene is. I'll just say that. And yeah. Anyway, about Ragnarok, the movie is fantastic. Kate Blanchett is so good as Hela. My breaking spoiler alert, everything for Infinity War. I think that Kate Blanchett as Hela is going to be Death. Because if you've ever researched Infinity War stuff, Thanos pretty much does all of this to impress Death because he's in love with her. And Death is like a skeleton in a cloak character in the comics, and I don't think they're gonna do that. But I do think that my prediction is that Hela is gonna be that love interest of Thanos. Just my potential spoiler alert prediction. Anyway, this movie was fantastic. It has an 8.2 on IMDb and a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I think to date is the highest rated Marvel movie so far. Of course, it's brand new and things change, but it's definitely up there. It's super fun. By far, Chris Hemsworth's best performance, I think, out of all. I think he's been in 4 or 5 movies now, the 2 Thors and Avengers. But yeah, it was. Again, I don't want to spoil anything. This is a no spoiler review. Go see it though, for real. And the person that I went with isn't necessarily like in on the story arc or the comics or as big of a Marvel buff as I am, but he still enjoyed it. So if you're not a huge Marvel fan, it's still a really fun movie to watch regardless. And if you just are super attracted to Chris Hemsworth, which is understandable, he has like 2 or 3 shirtless scenes, so just go see it for that if that's your thing. Valkyrie, I think, is super good looking. Anyway, this movie, yeah, I could talk about this movie for a long time. Also, let me know. Okay, this is serious. I really want to start a podcast. I have a podcast currently, but my 2 other co-hosts have, babies and marriage and stuff going on in their life, which is totally cool, understandable. But we haven't been able to record. But we've done like 50 episodes or something. So if you want to check that out, it's called All the Good Names Were Gone. And it's on everywhere podcasts are found. On the Apple Podcasts. Just type in All the Good Names Were Gone. You'll see it. And it's just a funny talking about whatever podcast. But I want to start another one, and I'm debating. I want to do an ASMR podcast where I go over the news and interview people. I think that would be really fun. But I also want to do a movie podcast. So 2 things. Let me know if you would like either of those. And then the other thing is, if I do a movie podcast, I need a good name. it's gonna be tough to top. Some guy on Twitter tweeted me and said that it should be called matinee, like matinee. That's pretty good. But I do want to start a movie podcast because it's seriously, I on an average of 7 days in a week, I probably go to the movies four times a week probably, and so it's one of my favorite pastimes. So I think that would be fun because it's just like this. It's just reviewing and talking about it. But anyway, I want to do an ASMR podcast or a movie podcast. So let me know which one you guys would like more, and then if you have any clever names for either of those. Anyway, Thor Ragnarok. I will give. I don't know if I want to give it an A plus because that's like perfect. If there's a grade that I can give between an A and an A plus, that's what I'll give it. It's borderline A plus to me. There's hardly any downtime. Something's always going on. It's funny, great action, great writing, and again it pushes the story arc forward. So, yeah, I'll give it a solid A to whatever is in between an A and an A plus. But anyway, yeah, I know this is kind of a long video. I hope that you can just kind of chill out and listen, and hopefully you'll go see some of these movies and let me know what you think. Yeah, again, comment, and let me know what you think if you've seen any of these, and if you agree, awesome. If you don't agree, that's awesome as well. Again, I think all of this is subjective and just comes down to personal preference. Unless it's about Thor. If you didn't like Thor, then Ragnarok, then there's something wrong with you. I'm just kidding. Anyway, that's gonna do it, guys. I'm hoping to get back on a little bit of a schedule coming up here soon. So I'm sure I will see you guys soon. But until then, yeah, please subscribe, please like, please comment, all that good stuff. You know how that goes. And I will talk to you guys next time.